After the ZS EV and the Comet EV, MG Motor India is all set and is all ready with their third all-electric offering for the country. Yes, today we are at the Indonesia Auto Show where the Cloud EV is finally revealed in all its glory. What does the Cloud EV, which is sold in the Indonesian market under the Wuling brand, offer? What does it promise? And could it be a game changer in the sub rupees 20 lakh EV segment back in our country? You're watching HT Auto, I'm Shubhadeep. Let me take you through every highlight of the Cloud EV. Now, if you have to take on the likes of the Tata Nexon EV and the Mahindra XUV 400, you have to do things slightly different, and therefore the Cloud EV gets a design language which is significantly different from the other two models. It is also not an SUV unlike those models. It's in fact a crossover utility vehicle, and most of it comes through on the face of its car. It's smart looking because you get a connected light strip here, you get the LED DRLs on either side. Now right at the bottom you get the blackened treatment on this portion here, followed by a chrome element here at the very bottom, which completes the look of the Cloud EV. The Cloud EV gets 360-degree cameras, so you get the front camera here, which is nicely integrated to the face of the vehicle, but you also get cameras all around the car. On the side in particular, you get the cameras on the ORVMs. Now, because we're on the side profile of this vehicle, let me just quickly take you through some of the highlights. Now, the vehicle stands on 18-inch wheels, got a nice ground clearance, which is going to be very crucial for Indian road conditions, and has some contrasting black element here, complete with chrome bits. There are flush door handles, not just here, but for the back doors as well. Huge windows, which claim to get the elements inside this car, could be very crucial, a very key deciding factor for the Indian car buyer. From the side, the crossover elements in terms of design actually shines bright and looks pretty decent. Now, my personal favorite as far as the visual element is concerned is the rear profile of the Cloud EV. Now, it's simple and yet looks quite attractive. That's massively thanks, of course, to this stripped LED bar here all the way on the trunk here, connecting the two LED taillights. The profile is simple and yet you get some handy features like a powered tailgate, which can be used to open and shut the trunk of this vehicle as well. A decent amount of cargo area, but a little bit more on that a little bit later. Let me also tell you about charging options here. So you get a charging point here that can power the 50.6 kilowatt hour battery that goes inside this vehicle. The claim range is at around 460 kilometers per charge, and using a DC fast charger, the Cloud EV can be powered from 30 to 100% in as less as 30 minutes. But the charging point is not just here. Let me take you through where there is another charging inlet. Something that can be very practical in parking spaces in Indian conditions is having multiple charging inlets. So I've already shown you one. There is a second one here. So depending on where your charging point is at and how you park your vehicle, you can make use of either of the two. The Cloud EV gets disc brakes on all four wheels, but there is a whole lot that's happening on the inside as well. This is quite a pleasant cabin, primarily highlighted by the fact that there are absolutely no physical buttons. Everything is controlled either through the steering mounted control or this massive 15.6-inch infotainment screen. Now, obviously, in its segment, this is the largest by far main infotainment screen, and much like what we've seen on many other MG cars, is absolutely easy to use, intuitive enough, and the display is crisp, bright, and very sharp as well. Like I mentioned, even things like folding of the ORVMs can be controlled through the infotainment screen. Headlights, controls for the air conditioning, you name it, everything gets switches, buttons, digital ones here on the main screen. The driver display obviously looks comparatively small and yet puts out information like tire pressure monitoring system, battery charge left, the speed, and the works here as well. Multiple drive modes available, so you can choose from economy to normal to sports, and well, it has a decent seating position where I'm sitting right now. The seats themselves are, well, what MG likes to call sofa seats, and it's very easy to see why. The cushioning is quite decent. Side bolstering could have been a little better, but overall the fit and feel and finish is quite good. There are a plethora of storage options. You get 3 cup holders on the center console, more space on the doors, and of course the bottle holders on the dashboard itself. The dashboard is ginormous. The air conditioning system, the vents look really nice as well. There is ambient lighting going under the air conditioning vents and lighting as well on the sides here. Now, if you take a look at the front passenger seat, I've folded it down to 180 degrees, and that is where the magic is at. Because imagine yourself waiting for an hour and a half in hot conditions while your EV gets powered up. You can actually just take a nap while the AC is on and wake up to a fully charged vehicle, completely ready to be driven. But your car is ready to be driven away. What if you want to be driven and not drive the Cloud EV? Well, the rear seats are very, very comfortable as well. Now, this seat is positioned quite a fair bit back, and yet I have acres of knee room. The leg space is quite decent too, and the under thigh support is very generous as well. There is, of course, the central armrest with cup holders. The rear seats also get a recline function, so on long journeys, this can be quite a nice and comfortable place to be in. Some of the other feature highlights inside the Cloud EV include wireless phone charging, wireless support for Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. There is a nice looking circular vent for air conditioning, which is again going to be very crucial for hot Indian climatic conditions. So you see, the Cloud EV actually does manage to tick several boxes, right? But the biggest question is, can it really take the challenge to the rivals in the Indian market? It is going to be the third MG all-electric car, as I mentioned, and going to sit in the sub 20 lakh rupees bracket. Now, all of the questions that I just asked eventually comes down to what you make of the MG Cloud EV. Do let us know what you think about this electric vehicle, and are you as excited to see it on the road as I am and I was to take you through all the highlights here. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching.